Aloha! Welcome to our channel. If you are new, my name is Irina.
And I am Devon.
And we create informative travel videos to help you get the most out of your vacation. Recently, on September 17, 2021, Devon proposed to me and I said yes! So we created this insane surprise proposal video, and we will leave the link for you below this video as well.
But before we get around to the proposal video, we've been getting so many requests from you guys on our Friday lives, in our Instagram, like when are you guys...
In the comments?
Yeah, like when are you guys getting married? Or what are your plans? And they also asked, how did your YouTube channel come about? So we just got hit with so many different questions. So we decided to put together kind of like a comprehensive, all-inclusive video.
Our story.
Yes, our stories. In this video, we're going to be talking about a little bit about ourselves and where we're from, how we met,
how we started our YouTube channel, what we do for living, how we can afford to live in Hawaii and travel.
So we're putting it all in one video. Of course, I'm going to put chapter markers so you can skip to the parts that you choose, or we hope you just stick around to hear the full story.
Alright, let's begin. I am from Russia.
And I am from Belize.
I was born in USSR, raised in Russia, and moved to the US when I was just about 20.
And I was born in Belize, and I left Belize when I was about 6 years old, moved to Chicago for 1 year, ended up in New York where I lived for most of my life.
We are going to Belize and Russia, where we will create more videos about our childhood, how it was growing up in Russia or being born in Belize, and how life is in those countries. So be sure to stick around for that and just be out with us. Before coming to the US, I used to take dance classes, and my dance teacher started teaching pole dancing classes in Russia. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pole dancing is usually associated with gentlemen's club, but let me explain to you how that really works in the pole dance world. There are pole dancing studios all over the world. I'm not exaggerating, guys. I've taken pole dancing classes in Mexico, Russia, Ukraine. There are studios literally even in Tahiti. There are pole dancing studios. Women and men alike come to studios just for fitness, fun, dance, flexibility, and art.
And I know a lot of you guys, when you watch our Friday live videos, you guys see a pole in the background, and a couple of you have said, am I the only one that saw a stripper pole in the background or in their apartment? Yes, it is a pole in there as well, because Irina trains on the regular to keep, fit.
When I first came to the US in 2007, I was going to school to learn English. Then I fell in love, got married. It didn't work out. In 2010, I opened, together with my friend, my own pole dancing studio in Brooklyn, where we operated for 6 years. And because of my pole dancing studio is the reason why we met.
Allow me to speak a little bit about myself. As I told you before, I was born in Belize, and when I was 6 years old, my parents brought me to Chicago, where I lived for 1 year, and shortly after that, we moved to New York, where I pretty much grew up.
And lived for a majority of your life as well.
Yes. I was married twice previously before, but obviously both of those marriages failed. With my first wife, I had a very handsome son who happened to look just like me. And of course, with my second ex-wife, I had 2 beautiful daughters. But as they say, third time is the charm.
I love you.
Love you too. So, both of my oldest kids are young adults pretty much, and the youngest one is a teenager. Most of the time spending in New York, I grew up as a DJ. I DJ'd in most of Manhattan's top clubs for many years. From there, I basically started my own cinematography company because I took a liking in cinematography after the DJ thing kind of turned upside down. It just wasn't paying the way it was when I first started. So I decided to leave and I had to take on something else. And cinematography is what I took a liking into doing. I was shooting weddings, I was shooting promo videos, I was shooting music videos.
Events, corporate events.
Yes, so many different projects I was taking on. And from there, because I was also DJing in clubs at the same time, so it's kind of like a mix, a lot of the people I was associating with at the time were Russian. So I kind of developed a thing for Russian women just because everyone I was around was Russian. I had a really close friend of mine that told me, hey, why don't you join Russian Facebook? And I'm like, Russian Facebook? There is such a thing?
Russian Facebook is called VK or Kontakte.
Right.
Means in contact.
Right. So they created a profile for me, and literally the way I was using it was also to kind of promote my DJing club. So I would just kind of reach out to these beautiful Russian women and I'd say, hey, I'm a DJ at such and such club. And of course, these were very high-end clubs. And I would say, hey, just come down and I got you. And that was kind of like my spew. I was searching through Kontakte at one point and I saw Irina's profile. And initially, yes, I did say, wow, she's beautiful. Secondly, when I looked more into her profile, I realized she was a pole dancer.
And my profile was professional to promote my pole studio in Brooklyn. Brooklyn has a big Russian community, and that's where my studio was oriented for Russian clients.
Yes, so I decided to reach out to her and I said, because after looking through the profile, I was like, wow, pole dancer. And to me, the things that I was seeing her do on the pole, I was like, how is that even possible? So I was kind of like blown away. And I reached out to her, I said, hey, what if I was to shoot a promo for your studio? I'm not going to charge you. I'm just trying to basically kind of expand on my portfolio. And that's when I reached out to her and I asked her that question. I said, hey, I just want to shoot your profile. And of course, she looked at it like...
And I did my due diligence as well. I checked out his website. He was super official. His videos were really professional, high quality. I was really impressed. And I thought to myself, wow, why would a professional videographer offering such high quality product would offer that to me for free? There are a lot of freaks on the internet reaching out, especially with my profile being as a professional pole instructor and coach. And then, and I was married at the time as well. So I got my crew together, all my pole girls, and we decided to take up on his offer, and instead of shooting a promo for me personally, we decided to shoot a promo for my studio.
Right after that, once she said it was that she wanted to go ahead with it, I was like, okay, cool. I had a friend of mine, Jared, who I brought on with me. Wow, this is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so artistic. Like, I was super excited. So when I got to the studio,
he had bags and loads of equipment. I was like, wow, lights, tripods, a whole bunch of things that I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
And he was super professional on the shoot. Before we met him, we were all nervous as well. We weren't sure. And my friend Karen brought her husband with her, who was sitting right outside the studio in the car just in case anything happens.
Wow.
But everything went super smooth. We were absolutely blown away by the promo that he created. So we collaborated with him on a couple of other videos that we shot for my studio as well.
Correct. And being that Irina took a liking to the production part of the whole thing, because of her studio, she was actually shooting videos on her phone and she was editing it and putting it out there, on YouTube and stuff for her studio. I started teaching her like, oh, you can edit this way and you can shoot this way and this would be great. And we just started kind of clicking in that way because we just kind of had the same interest. So I started bringing her onto my shoots that I was having. So when I was going out and I was shooting these promos or music videos or these fashion shoots, I would bring her on and she would be kind of like my sidekick, helping me, not only like with equipment, but kind of like in direction, because plenty of times I do work with females as models, and I would have to be the one to kind of move their hair from their face or reposition their body. And that's not always a cool thing to do. Like, you're not supposed to be touching the models. So I would have to tell them, can you swing your hips over this way? And it doesn't always work out. But having Irina on set with me, she can literally go there. She could move the hair from their face. She could like maybe retouch their makeup sometimes. She could reposition their arms or their bodies into the way that she knows like I want them to be. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, actually having someone with me that can work with me that way, and it could be much more efficient for working. And so she came on so many different shoots with me.
We became good friends and colleagues for a while, and organically our friendship grew to a deeper connection. Pole dancing is my passion, my obsession, my love, and my business, and I always wanted to expand my business to something bigger, but I didn't know what to do and how.
So I came up with the concept of, well, maybe we can shoot production videos and we could put them on DVDs and sell them that way. But Irina was like, oh, I don't want to deal with the shipping and the printing of DVDs. So she mentioned, well, why don't we just put it online? And that's how 123 Polling came about.
And 123polling.com is our bread and butter, our main business, and pretty much our baby together.
Absolutely. So Irina knew nothing about building a website, and she dug in the trenches and she learned how to build a website, and so said, so done. And we put in blood, sweat, and tears for about 3 years of hardcore work. Like, really, we were grinding. Irina, at this time I was still kind of DJing at the same time. Irina would be teaching in the studio, right, coming home, editing, and then it was like a constant switch. When she was sleeping, I was up, and vice versa. Like, we would just be literally switching. So it was constant working on the website, trying to develop it, trying to get as much tutorials up there before we actually launched it. So yes, it was a lot of work.
But that is pretty much how we are able to travel and how we are able to support ourselves here in Hawaii and our travels as well. So we wanted to expand then our business, our online business, and we packed up our studio in New York where all professional artists would come, and we would shoot tutorials with them and translate their skills into online tutorials where people can learn all around the world from them step by step.
So, but when we started, it was all Irina. Like, our first, 80? Our first 80 tutorials, and these are very detailed tutorials, by the way, was all shot by Irina. So we wanted to, like Irina said, we wanted to expand, and because pole dancing is worldwide, that's when we decided, hey, you know what, let's kind of partner up with these professional pole dancers from all around the world and expand our platform. And that's what we did. That's when we packed up in New York and said, okay, that's it, we're out.
July 2018, we put all our belongings in a 5x5 storage box, and we were out.
So after leaving New York and going to Russia, Ukraine, Mexico, we were actually, it was work related. It was so much work we had. We were shooting every single day, and everything was, well, majority of it was for 123 Polling, and along the way we were actually creating videos, travel videos for Just Be Out, but primarily it was for 123 Polling. We had like, what, 9-10 hour days of shooting in a studio, and it's structured where everything is in a black room, so we don't see the light of day outside. Everything is artificial lighting, and it just sucked the energy out of us every single day. And
whenever we're not shooting in the studio, we are home at the computer editing all this footage that we shot.
Yes. After leaving Russia and going to Ukraine, then we ended up in Mexico. We lived in Mexico for about 3 months. We stayed in Playa del Carmen. From there, we traveled to Tulum, which is really close, and we created travel videos there as well. And that's where we were kind of formulating that's when Just Be Out really kind of started blossoming and kind of taking flight.
That is also how our channel name came out. We decided, since we will be traveling and Devon still has such an incredible cinematography background, why don't we record our travels and put it out on YouTube.
So let's rewind just a little bit how we came up with the name Just Be Out. Just Be Out is kind of like a slang term in New York. So like in New York, you'll be like, be out. Kind of like how Nike says, just do it. It's almost kind of the same thing, like just be out, just get up and go. Like don't let things slow you down, just do it, you know?
And we did it.
And we did it, right. But the funny thing was, because it was kind of like a slang term, I didn't think it would be what it is now. But it's so funny how so many people have caught on to it, where it clicks and they get it, and they would send us email and they're like, we're just being out, or we're just be out, you know? And it's really cool to see that actually blossom into what it is now, and it's the main idea for the name and how we came up with it. So as Irina mentioned, we wanted to create travel videos, and my vision of travel videos was very cinematic. I just wanted to show beautiful shots of where we were, and it was all like aesthetically pleasing. As time went on, Irina said, well, why don't we just, because there's so many YouTube channels that show that type of content, hey, look at us, look at where we are, and if you have the skills, look how beautiful things are the way we are. And that's how the video is conveyed. But Irina's like, well, why don't we add information to it? Why don't we give people value, so after they watch the video, they actually have something to take away and that they could remember and that would benefit them, that would be more useful.
That's actually the solution for my struggles. I wish I had somebody to tell me everything. As we started traveling, I spent hours and hours researching about every location, what to do there, what to eat, what to expect or not to expect, things to do or not to do.
Pros and cons.
And I was getting little bits and pieces of information here and there, but it was never complete, and I had to spend so much time going through all types of blogs, Google searches, YouTube channels, trying to research that, and that is why I wanted to pass all this information to you guys as well, along with our adventures and our travel.
And if you guys have seen any of our vlogs, you know we are pretty much thorough, and that all is thanks to Irina. Irina does all of the researching for Just Be Out, so that's all thanks to her. And of course, she goes through everything that we can possibly think of that you would want to know when looking for this information. So our vlogs are very thorough. We want to walk you from basically the beginning, from arriving, from getting to your location, to the point of almost when you leave, what is there to do, pros and cons. We go right down the list. For the most part, our structure is to give you guys as much information as possible, or as far as we've obtained or experienced.
But of course, we grew into it. If you watch our very first vlogs, we have traveled already to Russia, Ukraine, Mexico,
Canada,
Turkey, and ended up here in Hawaii. This is where we developed our structure, and you guys also helped us a lot, telling us what it is that you want to know.
And that's basically how we've structured our channel now. A lot of it depends on you guys, and that's the reason why on our YouTube channel, in our community, we create polls for you guys to participate in. Let us know what video you would like to see, because we know if you want to see it, then you're going to enjoy it and you're going to consume it, as opposed to creating videos that we think you want to see. And that's kind of the motto that we have basically developed over time.
After traveling for half a year in early 2019, we came to Hawaii with plans to stay for 1 month, and we had arrangements to shoot some tutorials. But unfortunate things happened. One of the family members of the artist that we scheduled passed away, and she had to fly back to Seoul, Korea. So the very next day we woke up in Hawaii. I stepped out on the balcony, which is lanai here in Hawaii, and I inhaled this Hawaiian air mixed with salt water and Hawaiian flowers, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I don't want to leave Hawaii. And I asked Devon if he would want to stay here for 6 months, and of course Devon said yes. So we quickly found an apartment for lease, which was already furnished, because there is a large military base here in Hawaii, and it's very easy to find the short-term rentals. And 6 months came to a year when we left to Australia. To get on our 21-day French Polynesia cruise, where we were supposed to be in Tahiti.
Yes, and it was supposed to end up in Bora Bora, and it was a one-way cruise. And we had already planned from that point that we were leaving Hawaii and we were going to end up in Spain. We had our Airbnb set up for 3 months in Spain. Everything was aligned, and of course that's when COVID hit. And to make a long story short, being on a cruise in March, so when we got on a cruise in Australia, I know a lot of people were commenting on the videos we've done. We had, at this point, it was towards the end of February, so COVID wasn't really a thing then,
in
especially
Australia.
Right, exactly. So it wasn't really a thing. It's when we got on the cruise and end of February turned into March to the middle of March. That's when it became like really big, and we were on the cruise ship, because a lot of people were commenting. If you look at the comments on that video, they were like, "Oh, well, that's good for you, because why would you go on a cruise in the middle of COVID?" And what they didn't understand is that we were already on the cruise. This was since February we were on the cruise, and it was for 21 days.
And there was no option to cancel. The cruise line said that the cruise ship was gonna sail and not to worry about it. So we embarked on our journey.
Yes, and things turned bad, of course. And long story short, no one didn't want to accept the cruise, because of course at that time cruises were stranded in the ocean. No countries didn't want to take the cruise ships. So eventually Hawaii decided to take our cruise ship, and we ended up right back in Hawaii. And we stayed at a friend's house, and within a week we found an apartment for 6 months, and we moved in smack dab in the middle of COVID. That's when we were right back in Hawaii. Hawaii did not want to let us go.
That's where we were quarantined.
Yes, exactly. And after that, our 6 months lease, that was a 6 months lease, that expired, and we decided, okay, we can't really travel. We can't start on our 3-year travel now, because we're in the middle of COVID. So we decided, okay, instead of getting another 6 months lease at another place, because where we were currently staying, the 6 months lease was up and they didn't want to renew it. So we had to find somewhere else, and that was a hassle for us to do. Luckily, things worked out great, and from there
we signed a year lease.
Right, correct. We signed a year lease, and we moved in, and now we are actually to the end of this 1-year lease in October. And now we decided, yes, COVID is still a thing. Yes, it's not the best idea to probably travel right now, but we've done enough research, and we realize now with the vaccine, there's ways to travel safe. People are still traveling, and we're going to be traveling as safe as we can. We're not doing the type of traveling where it's like we're here for 1 week, we're here for a couple days, and we keep moving on. That's not the type of traveling we are doing. So since we've been here, we've shot so many videos here in Hawaii, informative videos, over 200, right? On everything you guys need to know. What are the best beaches? Where are the best places to eat?
Where to stay.
Yes, where to stay.
Different islands. We also covered the Big Island and Maui.
Yes, so in our library of Hawaiian videos, you can find pretty much everything you're looking for, or just about everything.
And you can also leave a comment or reach out to us, DM on Instagram or even TikTok, and we will answer your questions if you have any.
Now let's get into the future of Just Be Out.
We are still planning to embark on our 3-year world travel. We're planning to do slow traveling, going to one country at the time and staying there for 1 to 3 months, so we can fully explore the culture and everything the country has to offer. And of course, along the way, we will be shooting travel guides for you, all the informative videos, and sharing with you the best way to travel each each country and everything you need to know about it.
And as of now, the first place we are going to be going to is
Devon's birthplace.
Yes, so we are going to Belize. Irina's been dying to go there.
My bucket list.
Yes, so we're going to take on Belize first, and from there we plan to go to Irina's birthplace, which is Russia,
where Devon will be trying all the weird Russian foods.
Yeah, we have a bunch of cool vlogs coming up.
And we have a few vlogs about Russia, and we will leave the playlist down below. If you are new to YouTube, and if you go to our YouTube homepage, you will see all our videos, but you can also see right next to it there is a tab with playlists. Basically, we grouped some of the relative videos together, where you can see, for example, for Hawaii best beaches, or we have done a series on Hawaii hotel reviews, and each video will play right after another, and it will be convenient to you, so you don't need to search for the next video that you're interested in.
Absolutely. And of course, we are going to continue to produce informative videos for you no matter where we are in the world. And hopefully, I don't know, like being here in Hawaii, we have met so many of our viewers. It's crazy. If you go to our Instagram, we have a special category where we keep all the photos of the people we've met. And forget about the amount of people we've met and took photos of. What about the people that we never got a chance to take photos of? There are people that we're riding on a bike and they'll wave from their car. They'll be like, just be out. It is so crazy the amount of people that we meet. And it's something that I never expected would happen, and it was kind of weird when it started happening. But after a while, we got used to it. We love it. We tell you guys in all our videos, we're like, if you guys see us, don't be afraid to approach us. We love having conversations with you guys. We love knowing where you're coming from. We love knowing what you're going to do when you get here, and just hearing 9 out of 10 times you guys are saying, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have come to Hawaii. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done shark diving. If it wasn't for you, like,
tell you all the cool spots and secret spots and unique things to do as well.
Yeah, so it's been amazing meeting all you guys. And again, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So we greatly thank you for that. So we've hoped this video has covered most of your questions. Again, we try to put everything into one, that way we didn't have to break this video up and have you wait for the next one. If you guys have any additional questions that we didn't cover, please free to just leave it in the comment below. And if you like this video, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated, and it'll do wonders for this video.
And every Friday we go live, where we get to chat with you live, answer all your questions, and hang out with you in the chat room.
So as usual, mahalo so much for watching, and
just be out with us.